so what I'm going to talk about, I'm not a climatologist, a meteorologist, I'm a civil engineer, so I can't exactly get into the nitty-gritty details of any of the technical aspects to climate models, but I thought what I would share is just kind of a variety of visuals that I like to look at personally to get a sense for what might be out there in that S2S sort of period. And when I say S2S, I think I'm kind of talking about beyond 2 weeks, but mainly, looking out a month or so. So with that, I think I'll go ahead and just sort of categorically tell you what I'm going to show. And that's some individual models that are out there, some visuals, some individual climate models, and then some composite products that are out there from NCEP. And then talk a little bit about possibilities maybe incorporating this type of information into ultimately streamflow ensembles, which is sort of the niche that the CNRFC, that's our main product there. How can we it's good to see some of this stuff and use it qualitatively, but how could we possibly use it quantitatively and get that into direct streamflow ensemble forecasts? So the first graphic I'll show here is the coupled forecast system, the CFS. This is an American model, and the link below the image, that's the link you can go to look at a number of graphics related to the CFS. And you can look at sort of a 3-month horizon view or month. And this specific example, I grabbed this yesterday. So at the top it says Wednesday, October 13th. And this is a 1-month outlook. So it was run yesterday, and it's a 1 month. So basically the month of November, is there a chance of above or below normal precipitation? You can also look at temperature, but anyway, what this is indicating here is it's showing a below normal projection for the month of November precipitation for California, and slightly above normal for the Pacific Northwest. Through that same website, this is another little interesting tool. We can kind of see the progression of the trends that the CFS is predicting from day to day. So in this example, we have sort of a panel of the same graphic that I showed previously, but for different runs. So October 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. So this gives you a general sense of if the models are trending one way or another as we get closer to that November timeframe. So on October 5th, it looks like, it's hard to tell. It's a pretty small thumbnail there, but looks like near normal precipitation was forecast for November back in October 5th. But as we get closer to mid-October, October 13th, it looks like right now the CFS is trending toward below normal for November. NCEP also provides graphics for a variety of other models. The Ecmwf, the European, is one that was mentioned a lot in previous talks, and you can look at that model and some other international models, looking out a lot of different lead times, 1 month, 2 month, 3 month for both precipitation and temperature. So here's an example of, if we clicked on the Ecmwf 1 month lead time, this is actually, I grabbed this, I think this was a run that was done in early September. And so this was forecasting the precipitation chance for the month of October. And so you could see that the Ecmwf back in September was predicting slightly above normal precipitation for California. So now we'll talk about the multiple model ensemble. So there's a number of models out there that I don't know all the details of, but NCEP puts together a product called the National Multiple Model Ensemble. And that product takes information from a number of different long-range weather models. And so in that red box, that's the National Multiple Model Ensemble graphic. And again, this is for the month of November lead time. So this was issued the beginning of October, and it's a predictor for what the precipitation pattern or the chances of above or below normal would be for the month of November. All the pieces or the models that go into that multiple model blend are listed are kind of shown below. The CFSV2, which we've talked about, but there's also some Canadian models, some other American models, GFDL, NCAR, a NASA model. So they all kind of are pieces that go into the multiple model ensemble. And then ultimately CPC, they look at all that information and come up with their seasonal and monthly and different lead time forecasts based on all the individual models, based on multiple model ensemble, and their own expertise. And that is ultimately, they take all the information and produce products similar to what we saw before, but with a little bit of a human element to it as well. And so here's an example of a CPC product. This is looking out for November, December, January. So let me go back to the previous slide. So these are sort of all the listed sort of lead times that CPC provides long range outlooks for. And so the seasonal is the one that I'm going to be showing on this one, which is a November, December, January. So this is basically showing, I guess, maybe a little bit typical of a La Nina pattern there, where we've got above normal precipitation expected for the Pacific Northwest and below normal for, I would say, mid to Southern California. So that's all I really have on the sort of the, say, multiple model or blended sort of products. Now, just to conclude, I want to talk about CNRFC streamflow ensembles. So, right now I talked about in my Hydro Tools talk that the Ensemble streamflow forecast that we generate, there's information going out 2 weeks from the GEFS. And so that's really the only source of weather model information that we have. And that's really more short range, not sort of the S2S range. The GFS version 12, the operational runs for that, which is really what we drive our Ensemble streamflow forecast for 2 weeks, those runs go out 4 weeks. So that's something that we want to look into, is trying to leverage the information from the GEFS and bring that into our Ensemble streamflow forecasting system to cover that first 4 weeks of lead time. But beyond that, we have looked at trying to incorporate the CFS by itself into our Ensemble streamflow forecast, and the verification work we did, we just didn't see a whole lot of value there. Personally, I think the real strength is going to be looking at trying to incorporate some sort of blended model. The national multiple model ensemble, for the example that I showed, it would be interesting to see if those products can give us any value beyond that 4-week lead time. And there's a collaborative effort going on with the CNRFC and some of the other Western RFCs, the Northwest RFC in Portland and the Colorado Basin RFC and Salt Lake City. All three of those RFCs have been working with CPC and trying to work with them to kind of create or have reforecast data sets that we could evaluate within our Ensemble forecasting framework and see if they can add any value to our streamflow forecast. And I would say this coming year, we're going to be focusing mainly on that beyond week 4 timeframe. And the National Multiple Model Ensemble product, I think is a good candidate. I believe that there's a fairly large reforecast archive of that product, enough that we could evaluate the skill and assess it and parameterize it for use in our Ensemble streamflow forecast. So that's something I'm excited about sort of evaluating in the coming year or so, along with our neighboring RFCs. But again, I think the sort of that multi-model blend, when we're looking further out in time, I think is really where the strength lies, and what I would like to evaluate in terms of how it can improve streamflow forecasts out that far. So that's it for me.